Hi, I'm Greg Howlett, and I want to talk today about AG1. Everybody's talking about AG1. In the superfoods, green superfoods category, this is probably the top product. Actually, it most definitely is the top product. I've reviewed some of the competitors, but really I want to talk about this today for a few minutes. This is worth talking about. It's a good product. I'll tell you why. Let me say up front that like all the products I talk about, I'm not selling them personally. So this is a personal review that's actually real. There's no money exchanging hands. I don't sell this. I don't have anything to do with the company that does. I've never talked to the company. This is just my opinion from inside the industry. So let's talk about it in 4 different areas. First of all, we'll talk about flavor and taste. Second, the label, the supplemental facts. Third, the manufacturing, which includes raw ingredients and testing. And then fourth, we'll talk about value, how it hits your wallet and is it worth the money. To start with taste, here's the big thing up front. I know that taste shouldn't be important. I know that if it's a nutritious product, you should just do it anyway. You should just choke it down. But the reality is people don't work that way. If it doesn't taste well, you're not going to stick with it. And this product actually is a really good tasting product. I'm surprised at that, to be honest, because I've been selling products in this category now for 25 years. I started with a product called barley green, which has been around probably 50 years and sort of started this whole revolution back in the 70s or something. I started selling it much later, by the way, but barley green is basically just barley grass, and it has no attempt at taste, and it tastes like grass. It's disgusting. And people choke it down, but we lose, or when I sold it back in the day, we would lose a lot of customers who would just say, Greg, I'm sure it's good for you, but I can't really choke it down. It's just disgusting. I get that. Fortunately, the market has sort of matured and moved on past that, and now you're seeing a real effort being made on taste. This product is really mild. On the front end, you got just a hint of sugar. On the back end, you have a taste of grass, but really not that unpleasant at all. I'm not saying that you're going to sit down with this at the end of the day like you might sit down with a drink that you really enjoy, but this is not something that you're going to dread either. It's actually really, really good. You'll be happy with it. Number 2, more importantly, the label. Again, I'm talking about this right here. This supplemental facts label is 2 different parts. Number 1, there are claims made about nutrient levels. Now this is unique, this product is unique on that level. Below that, we'll talk about the ingredients themselves. As far as the claims, now guys, if a company is going to put claims on a label, they have to be able to substantiate it. This is why, if you pick up a product like some of the others in this category, like Bloom or Amazing Grass, or even Barley Green, you see a label that's almost empty. There's no claims made here, like AG1 is doing it. The reason why, again, is because those companies can't prove it. Now, you might say, Greg, why can't they prove that a so-called superfood has nutritional value? I mean, we sell it that way, right? If you're in the industry and you're selling this kind of product, you say, this is a superfood. And then you show them a label that has nothing on it but sodium and maybe a little bit of iron. And a customer has every right to come back and say, this is a superfood. Why is there no nutrition in it? Here's why. The companies that have no nutritional information, no claims on their label, are doing something different with manufacturing and raw ingredient sourcing. They essentially are using ingredients in manufacturing that doesn't allow them to prove that every single bag going out has this level of nutrition. It's very hard to do that. Here's why. With natural products, based on where you grow things, how much rain that area gets, and all kinds, the soil, obviously, everything else, the nutritional value is going to differ. This product, for example, has spinach in it. If I walked out to my backyard and picked up spinach, well, that wouldn't happen. I have no spinach in the backyard, but let's say I did, and then I compared it to some spinach that was grown 10 miles away in another field, you'd have a very different nutritional profile, believe it or not. So it's very hard to have claims for a natural product that are very specific. How does AG1 get away with it? The reason why is AG1 has to have very, very solid raw ingredient sourcing, manufacturing, and especially testing. They do it by putting a lot of focus on those 3 areas so they have a standardized product that they can prove has this level of nutrition. Again, if it doesn't, somebody goes in and tests it, there's a class action lawsuit. So if they're doing it, they can prove it. As a general rule, I'm not saying that's true for everything. You can buy stuff on Amazon that's probably not tested at all with completely fake labels. But if AG1 is doing it and making these claims, they have proof for it. So again, this is a sign of quality manufacturing, a sign of a good quality product. And there's a lot of very specific claims made here. Other products that do this, Power Greens, for example, in this same category does it as well. But most of the products don't. Now below, when we look at the list of ingredients, this is very common. This is a wide range of superfoods. And by that I mean a lot of grasses, barley and wheat, a lot of algae, spirulina and chlorella. As a matter of fact, let's see, am I right? No, the top ingredient in here is spirulina, which is blue-green algae. By the way, algae, think about how hard that is to make that taste good. Scraping something, imagine an old swimming pool, you scrape algae off the side and make something of that. The fact that they're able to get a great taste out of that, this product is quite interesting and impressive. But there's a lot of things besides just grasses in here as well. Beetroot, carrot root, grapeseed extract, ginger, licorice root. There's some probiotics in here. There's some digestive enzyme type stuff, some proteins, hawthorn berry. A lot of stuff that you recognize if you're in this industry. My knock on the ingredients, by the way, guys, is not how many ingredients there are. I think it's a good thing to have a lot of ingredients in a product like this. A really good thing, because I think that's what your body is looking for. I think that was a big knock on a product like Barley Green that's just focused on barley, because your body doesn't really operate that way. Our body is not designed to just eat one superfood. It wants a wide range of nutrition. So I like there's a lot of ingredients here. However, what I don't like is the fact that they're listed in blends, proprietary blends, which means they list the ingredients, but they don't tell you how much of each one is used. Now, I get why companies don't do that. And by the way, most companies don't, or most companies are doing this kind of thing. They do it because they don't want to get copied. And I get it. On the flip side, though, as a consumer, you have every right to be skeptical when it says, for example, a product has slippery elm in it, but it's listed at the end of a long list of ingredients. The law is you have to list the ingredients in order of proportion. So the most used ingredient in a blend has to be listed first. By the time you're getting to the end, you have every right to be skeptical, because a lot of cases companies like this will know that there's a popular ingredient and they will throw just in enough. They'll sprinkle some fairy dust on it. We call it fairy dust marketing. They'll throw in a little of that ingredient so they can say it's in the blend. But what they don't disclose is there's not enough to make a difference. It's not just enough to have a good ingredient in a blend. You have to have it at a level where it makes a difference. So you have every right to suspect some of these ingredients and wonder if they're there in enough volume to actually make a therapeutic difference. Therapeutic is the word I'm sort of struggling for. Anyway, there's a lot of extracts in here which are really good. Standardized extracts means that companies are using, they basically take a raw ingredient and then they extract out what's good and throw away what's bad. So you end up with less volume, but it's more potent. So they're able to get more nutrition into the bag. That's another sign of quality when you see extracts, especially when it says standardized extracts. Mushroom, again, I suspect, and I can't prove this and I'm not accusing, but I suspect some of this stuff is fairy dust. I see, just based on math, if there's 154 milligrams, for example, of mushroom complex and there's 5 ingredients, that tells you how much the maximum of each of these ingredients can be, and it's not necessarily enough to matter. That's true for the probiotics as well. You have a probiotic blend in here, but there's only 2 strains of bacteria, and the first strain is acidophilus. Acidophilus is the common bacteria found in yogurt. It's good, but guys, just understand this. You can't take a product like this and necessarily replace what you might have in your medicine shelf just because you see the same ingredient. You really don't know from this label exactly how much is in here. CoQ10 is a good example too. CoQ10 is listed at the end of a list of ingredients Well, there's 2,732 milligrams, so 2.7 grams. CoQ10 is listed near the end. If we were selling that, you'd want to see 50 to 100 milligram capsules. Based on the formula, it's not likely that that's happening anywhere close. So be careful of that, the fairy dust marketing thing. As far as the formula goes, though, there's nothing that I would complain about. Just take it with a grain of salt, but these are good ingredients. Let's talk about manufacturing. So this product, as we already talked about when we said the nutritional label is very, very extensive. The claims made on that label are extensive. I already know that the manufacturing is going to be pretty good. Again, manufacturing is really three things: raw sourcing of ingredients, manufacturing itself, and then testing. Another thing that tells me that this is done well is the Nsf certification, which you see here. This means the outside independent agency is coming in and making sure that everything is standardized, that testing is being done and so on, that the label is accurate. That's a sign of quality. A lot of companies don't do this. AG1 is far from the only company that does. But when in doubt, if you're looking at two products, look for the Nsf certification or other certifications. This is made in New Zealand, which doesn't bother me. New Zealand is a fine place to make products. A lot of products like this are made there. Other things about the label: no GMOs, gluten, dairy, corn, egg, blah, 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 animal byproducts, herbicides or pesticides. By the way, that is really strong. A lot of companies say they have organic, they say certified organic ingredients. However, the reality is that doesn't mean as much as it should. You could go to a farmer's market and pick up an organic apple, test it, and find herbicides on it from overspraying. The fact that a company is testing to make sure there are no herbicides or pesticides is actually a stronger claim than just saying organic. So that's a sign of quality. The one thing in here that some of you may not like is soy. So some people do not want soy in their diet. There is soy in this product. Otherwise, this is really, really solid. I really like this. There's nothing really that I can say bad about this product. There's only one thing really that I want to pick on in regards to AG1, and that is the value. Now, this is the box that came in. This product is beautiful. Everything about it's beautiful. They give you this pretty box. Looks like this. Everything in here is really nice. For example, they give you this metal spoon, which is really nice. Most companies would give you a plastic scoop, right? So they go the extra mile with all this stuff. Metal, tin. You have a, not a glass bottle, but it's a really nice bottle. The box itself is beautiful. The problem with all this, guys, is when it comes right down to it, AG1 is what's in the bag. This is what you're actually buying. This probably cost them $5 to make, plus or minus $1. This box and all this stuff probably cost more than $5. In other words, they've sort of doubled their cost here in this product. So what should be a $4 or $5 product is now a $10 product, and then guess what? They have to charge you a lot more money. They're not doing it out of the kindness of their heart. By the way, why do they do it? Well, they do it because when you do this kind of thing, it raises the perceived quality of the product. They can charge more. And this product cost me $100 to buy, which is somewhat absurd. Now, I don't really know that all that's necessary. I know why it's happening. They're using the D2C model, direct to consumer, which is not efficient. Essentially, they're spending a fortune on advertising and marketing that a lot of companies don't have to do because they distribute through stores and so on and build their brand that way. But essentially, yeah, you got a $10 product, really a $5 product that's being sold for $100. I think you can go on auto ship and get the other bags for $80 each, but still that's too high. You can buy products that are probably just as good, have the same certifications, same label, same ingredients for in the range of $50. So be careful with that unless you're really not caring about money, which how many people are like that these days. The ding on AG1 is going to be value. Value is a big deal. Well, it should be a big deal probably to most of us, and this is not really a good value. Great product, not a good value. Again, this box and stuff, it's not like you're going to keep it. You're going to throw it away. I would rather them just send this and charge me a better price. So overall, how would I rate this product on the scale for each of the areas? Taste, it's an A. the best I've tasted probably. The label, I would give it an A- only because of the use of proprietary blends, but again, every company does. Manufacturing, I'd give it an A because of certifications, the strength of the label, and the other claims. And then value, I'd probably give it I'm going to give it a C-. This is a A- product, guys. And again, I have no reason to say it. I'm not making any money from it. But the truth of the matter is, it's a really solid product. Only ding on it again, it's going to be price, if that matters.